He clenched his fists, his resolve hardening. "I'll take 1 coin," he said, his voice trembling with fear and determination. The serpent flicked its tail and a golden coin appeared at Basi's feet, glimmering in the sunlight. As he picked it up, a shiver ran through him, a coldness that seemed to seep into his very bones. He turned and ran back to the village, the weight of the coin heavy in his hand and his heart. In Moyo, a village nestled on the edge of a vast and ancient forest, lived Basi, a young boy whose restless spirit was always drawn to the mysteries of the woods. While other children played in the safety of the village, Basi wandered deeper into the forest, his heart beating with curiosity and wonder. The forest was his sanctuary, a place where the rustling leaves whispered secrets of the old world. But today, the whispers were louder, more insistent, calling him further than he had ever gone. He followed the whispers, feeling an inexplicable pull. Finally, he stumbled upon a clearing he had never seen before. The sunlight streamed down through the canopy, illuminating a serpent coiled around an ancient stone. Its scales glittered like molten gold, mesmerizing and terrifying all at once. This was Sani, the golden serpent of legend. Sani's eyes, deep and knowing, fixed on Basi. Its voice, a soft hiss that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, filled the clearing. "Young Basi," Sani whispered, I see the burden in your heart. You wish to help your village, to save your mother, to end their suffering. I can give you what you seek, for a price." Basi's heart pounded. His mother had grown weak, and the village was poor, struggling to survive. "What price?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Sani's eyes glinted. "Gold coins that could feed your village, cure your mother, and end all your woes. But each coin will cost you a year of your life." Basi hesitated, torn. The thought of saving his mother and helping his village was tempting. But the cost? Was it too high? He remembered his mother's weak smile, the lines of pain etched on her face, the hunger in the eyes of the children. He clenched his fists, his resolve hardening. "I'll take 1 coin," he said, his voice trembling with fear and determination. The serpent flicked its tail and a golden coin appeared at Basi's feet, glimmering in the sunlight. As he picked it up, a shiver ran through him, a coldness that seemed to seep into his very bones. He turned and ran back to the village, the weight of the coin heavy in his hand and his heart. Basi returned to Moyo, clutching the golden coin tightly. His thoughts raced. Was this the right decision? What if the serpent lied? But the coin felt real, solid, its weight a promise and a curse. He hurried to the healer's hut, exchanging the coin for the medicine that could save his mother. Days passed, and his mother's health began to improve. The colour returned to her cheeks, and the light to her eyes. The villagers hailed Basi as a hero, their saviour. Whispers spread quickly. The boy who brought fortune. They did not see the fear in his eyes, the new lines that creased his young face. Late at night, alone in his small hut, Basi stared into a cracked mirror. He noticed a single white hair among his thick black curls. Just 1 year, he thought, his heart heavy. But what if it doesn't stop there? What if I need more? He felt a knot of dread in his stomach. The serpent's warning echoed in his mind, a constant reminder of what he had lost for this small victory. His mother, sensing his unease, reached out to him one evening. "Basi, my son," she said softly, her voice still weak but filled with warmth. "You look troubled. What is it that weighs on your heart?" Basi forced a smile, hiding his fear. "Nothing, mother. I'm just tired, that's all." She squeezed his hand, her eyes searching his face. "Whatever burdens you carry, remember you do not carry them alone." But Basi knew he did. How could he explain what he had done? The price he had paid? He felt trapped, torn between his love for his mother and the creeping fear that he had made a terrible mistake. As the days passed, word of Basi's miraculous deeds spread, and soon the village looked to him for every need. Each request felt like a chain, pulling him back to the glade, back to the serpent. Each time, Sani was waiting, its golden eyes gleaming with an ancient, unreadable wisdom. Basi tried to resist, but the villagers' pleas were too strong, their needs too great. "One more coin," he would say, and with each exchange, he felt the years slip away from him like water through his fingers. His reflection in the mirror grew older. New lines appeared on his face, and more white hairs mixed with the black. He could feel himself aging faster, his youthful energy waning, replaced by a weariness that seeped into his bones. He found himself avoiding the mirror, avoiding his mother's gaze. He felt like a stranger in his own skin, an old man trapped in a young boy's body. The villagers saw a saviour, a hero, but Basi saw only the cost of their salvation etched into his skin. He felt isolated, burdened by a secret that grew heavier with each passing day. One night, unable to sleep, Basi wandered through the village. He saw the joy in the faces of the children, heard the laughter of the villagers. His sacrifice had brought them happiness. But at what cost? Is this what it means to be a hero? He wondered. To give everything of yourself until there is nothing left? The thought weighed heavily on his heart. He missed the carefree days of his youth, the times when the forest was just a place of wonder, not a source of his fears. He realised that he had lost more than just his years. He had lost a part of himself. Overwhelmed by his burdens, Basi sought out Ada, the village sage. Her hut was a haven of wisdom, filled with the scent of herbs and the glow of candles. Ada listened quietly as Basi poured out his heart, her face a mask of calm and concern. When he finished, Ada nodded thoughtfully. "The serpent's bargain is a dangerous one, Basi, but all is not lost. There is a way to reclaim what you have given, but it will not be easy." Basi leaned forward, hope sparking in his eyes. "Tell me, Ada, what must I do?" Ada's eyes were steady. The heart of the forest. It is a powerful artifact, hidden deep within the woods, guarded by spirits and protected by ancient magic. It holds the power to reveal us any curse, but to reach it, you must face trials that will test your heart, your courage, and your very soul. Basi felt a chill run through him, but he nodded. "I will do it, whatever it takes. I must make things right." Ada handed him a small amulet, a token of protection. "This will guide you, but remember, the journey is not just to reclaim your lost years, but to discover the depth of your spirit. You must confront your fears and find the strength within yourself." Basi left Ada's hut, his resolve firm but his heart heavy with uncertainty. He had chosen his path, but the road ahead was dark and filled with unknown dangers. He clutched the amulet tightly, feeling its warmth against his skin, a small comfort in the vast wilderness of his doubts. With Ada's amulet around his neck, Basi ventured into the deeper parts of the forest, where the trees towered like ancient sentinels, their branches forming a dense canopy that blocked out the sun. The forest felt alive, watching him, whispering his name. Shadows moved in the corners of his vision, and strange sounds echoed through the trees. He felt a constant sense of being followed, but when he turned, there was nothing but the rustling leaves and the silent judging trees. Basi spoke to the forest, his voice steady but filled with a desperate need for reassurance. "I seek the heart of the forest. I wish to undo what has been done." The forest seemed to respond. the wind picking up, carrying with it whispers that were both a warning and a challenge. As he journeyed, Basi faced trials that tested not just his strength, but his spirit. He came upon a river wide and wild, its dark waters rushing with a force that seemed insurmountable. He could not swim across. The current was too strong. He tried to find another way, but the river stretched endlessly in both directions. Basi sat by the riverbank, frustration and fear clawing at his heart. Is this the end? He thought. Have I come this far, only to be stopped by a river? Then he remembered Ada's words. Face your fears. Find the strength within yourself. He took a deep breath, calming his mind. He closed his eyes and listened, really listened to the river. He heard its rhythm, felt its flow. Slowly, he began to understand. It wasn't about fighting the river, but moving with it. He stepped into the water, letting the current guide him, finding stepping stones that appeared only when he surrendered to the river's rhythm. He crossed, breathless but victorious, his confidence bolstered. Further on, he entered a grove where the wind seemed to speak, carrying whispers of his past decisions, his fears, his regrets. Here, he confronted the spectre of himself, aged, weary, filled with regret. He saw visions of his mother, sick again, the village falling into ruin. He saw himself, alone, old before his time, a life wasted on a deal with a serpent. Basi cried out, voice filled with anguish. No, this is not my fate. I will not let fear decide my path. As he shouted, the visions faded, replaced by a deep, calm silence. The grove seemed to nod, acknowledging his resolve. He had faced his fears and found a new strength within himself. Deeper still, Basi reached the Grove of Trials, a sacred place where the air itself seemed to hum with energy. The trees were thicker here, their branches twisted and gnarled, forming almost a barrier as if trying to keep him out. But Basi pushed forward, his heart pounding with determination. The first trial was a mystical pool that lay at the centre of the grove, its waters as clear as glass. As Basi peered into its depths, he saw not his reflection but his future. The pool showed him aging rapidly, his hair turning white, his skin wrinkling, his back bending under the weight of years he had not yet lived. He watched as he turned from a young boy into an old man, frail and withered. His heart ached with fear. Is this my future? Is this the price I must pay for my choices? But then he remembered Ada's words, and he understood. The pool was not showing him his fate, but his fear. He knelt by the water's edge, his reflection staring back at him, and spoke softly but firmly. I do not fear my future. I fear only failing those I love. I will not be swayed by what might be. I will fight for what should be. The waters rippled, the images fading away. He had passed the first trial, but there were more to come. Next, the grove challenged him with illusions of his deepest fears, losing his mother again, seeing the village fall into despair, his own loneliness and isolation as he aged. Each scenario played out in excruciating detail, forcing Basi to confront and overcome the crippling fear that had shadowed his decision-making. He faced each illusion head-on, refusing to back down, finding strength in his resolve to protect not just his immediate family, but his entire community. Each step forward was a step away from his fears, and a step closer to his goal. Having passed the trials of the grove, Basi reached the innermost sanctuary of the forest, where the heart of the forest was kept. This was a place of profound peace and power, where the air shimmered with the energy of life itself. The heart, a crystalline entity pulsing with a soft glow, lay at the centre of a natural altar, guarded by the elemental warden, a creature made of vines and earth, its eyes glowing with a green light that spoke of ancient wisdom. The warden stepped forward, its voice deep and resonant, echoing through the clearing. "Why do you seek the heart of the forest, young one? What have you learned on your journey?" Basi stood tall, his voice steady. "I have learned that true wealth is not in gold or riches, but in the health and happiness of one's community. I sought to undo my mistakes, to reclaim what I lost, but I have found that my journey is about more than that. It is about understanding the balance of life, the importance of sacrifice, and the strength of the human spirit." The warden nodded, sensing the sincerity and depth of Basi's words. "You have learned much, Basi. You have faced your fears and found strength in your spirit. You may approach the heart." Basi approached the heart, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he laid his hands upon it, he felt an overwhelming connection to all living things, a surge of knowledge and compassion that flooded through him, rejuvenating his spirit and body. The heart did not just restore his youth, it imbued him with a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all life, empowering him with the wisdom to lead his village into a new era of harmony and sustainability. With the heart secured, Basi made his way back to the glade where his journey had begun. The forest seemed to watch him go, a silent sentinel to the trials he had faced. As he approached the clearing, Sani awaited, its presence as menacing as ever. "Sani," Basi began, his voice steady despite the serpent's intimidating gaze. "I have seen the depths of the forest and faced its guardians. I bring back the heart, not for myself, but to heal the wounds we have caused." The serpent hissed, a sound of grudging respect. "You have grown, young Basi. Show me that you have learned what true wealth is." Basi placed the heart of the forest at the base of the stone, and the ground trembled as a wave of energy flowed through the glade. The gold Sani had once offered turned to dust, blowing away as if it were nothing but leaves in the wind. In its place, sprouts began to emerge from the earth. New life, a promise of renewal. "Go now, Basi," Sani said, its voice softer, a whisper of leaves. "Return to your village with the wisdom of the forest heart. Nurture it as you would your own." Basi returned to Moyo a changed man. He shared his journey and the lessons of the heart with his people, teaching them the importance of living in harmony with nature. Under his guidance, Moyo transformed, embracing sustainable practices that enriched both the land and the community. Basi's legacy became one of wisdom, a narrative of deep respect for the natural world, and the understanding that true prosperity comes from balance and respect for all life. As Moyo thrived under Basi's newfound wisdom, the village was alive with laughter and song, a stark contrast to the hardship they had known before. Yet, amidst this joy, Basi could not shake a lingering unease. Late one night, as the village slept under a blanket of stars, Basi found himself once again drawn to the edge of the forest. The trees, usually so familiar and comforting, seemed to whisper secrets he could not quite understand. Suddenly, a chilling breeze swept through the clearing, and the whispers grew louder, more urgent. The ground beneath Basi's feet trembled, and from the shadows emerged a figure cloaked in darkness, a figure he had never seen before, but whose presence felt strangely familiar. The figure's eyes, glowing with an eerie light, locked onto Basi. "You have passed the forest's trials," the figure said, in a voice that seemed to come from the forest itself. "But a greater challenge lies ahead. The heart of the forest has awakened something much older and far more powerful than you can imagine. To protect Moyo and the balance you have restored, you must journey beyond these woods to a place where the forest ends and the real adventure begins. Basi felt a surge of fear and excitement. What could be more challenging than what he had already faced? But deep down, he knew that this was only the beginning of a much larger quest. If you want to find out what challenges await Basi beyond the forest, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. What do you think lies beyond the forest? Do you believe Basi is ready for what's next? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to share this story with your friends and family. Let's keep the adventure going together.